Hello, my friends and fellow VEDSies. Maggie's getting herself situated. Show up in frame a little. Don't let the RBF fool you, she is purring. Hello, my friends and fellow VEDSies. Today is day 4 of VEDS, and I figured if I'm going to be talking about progress all month, I should probably elaborate on what I'm trying to progress towards. After all, it's hard to start a journey if you don't know the destination. You'd think this would be easy for me to articulate because I've been wanting things to change for so long now. Obviously, I should know what I want the change to look like, right? Well, you know that clip of Elmo on Chicken Shop Date talking about how he doesn't have a 5-hour plan, let alone a 5-year plan? Yeah, that's more of a mood than I'd care to admit. See, a lot of my life up until now hasn't really been in my control. Sure, there have been times when I get input. I got to choose which college and high school I went to, of the ones I was allowed to consider, and I was allowed to choose what I wanted to study as long as it was approved first. But even compared to that, there were things way further out of my control that I had no say in. Like, if I was in charge, my job would have been replaced in 2020. Heck, if I was in charge, I wouldn't have needed to get a job replacement because I wouldn't have chosen to have arthritis. This is quite literally textbook learned helplessness. You face uncontrollable, potentially traumatic events, and it creates a feeling that you can't control what's going on in your life, which makes you feel like you can't control things even when you can. But if it's possible to learn helplessness, it stands to reason it's something you can unlearn. So I really tried to figure out what I want in the long term and what I can do in the semi-near future to help me get there. Because how can you know who you want? Do you know what you want when you don't? You know what you want. You want to lick my water bottle because you like to drink condensation, the same way you like to drink the toilet water. To do this, I took a page of a notepad and divided it into thirds. Started at the bottom with my end goals, or as close to the end as I could get. I'm 26. I've dealt with severe depression and multiple health issues. I'm still coming to terms with the fact that I'm probably gonna live to see 30. So I don't want to give this a hard number, but this is like the 5+ year plan. I'm not gonna beat myself up if I don't have all of this or any of this by 2030, but this is what I would like to have in my 30s and 40s. These goals are best explained by this recurring fantasy that I have. How it goes is that I start the day going to my job where I am doing something challenging and fulfilling and helping make the world a better place, probably in the arts. And then I get a call from one of my close friends, and there has been some sort of non-threatening family emergency, an appendix burst or the house heat went down. And they ask me to help take care of the kids while they deal with the crisis. And then I'm able to take off work or rearrange my schedule in a way that I can say yes. And then I go home and I prepare for my nieces or nephews or non-binary kids under that relationship. What would that be, a nibbling? Regardless, I've got space for guests, there are cookies in the jar, and by the time I'm picking them up from the train station, because it's a train station, because this is all taking place in Europe, by the way, my house is ready, or my apartment, or wherever I'm living is good to go, ready for guests. And I'm able to take care of the kids and support my friends and family. I've dubbed this ideal future version of myself Auntie Tess, which is weirdly not what my nieces and nephew call me. Because it's not just about having kids in my life who call me their aunt. It's about being close to them emotionally and physically, as well as being a stable, reliable person that my friends and family can call upon. There's a few other things that I wrote down in this section about being a good baker and not driving a car if I don't need to, but the core of it is being someone that my friends and family can rely upon, and also getting to live a life that finally feels like mine. Now that begs the question, how do we get there? Well, we can start with the obvious ones. If I want to have a place and a career, I need to get a job that I actually like, that, is relevant to things that I like to do and want to do long term, as well as make money to fund things like apartments or grad school. I also need to develop the skills that make me a reliable person, not just being able to bake or compost or even the adulty things like being able to fix things around the house or do my taxes without crying, but emotional skills, being able to communicate effectively so that I can maintain and form close bonds. So what can I do now? Well, as soon as I'm not working at the airport, I can try to audition for shows and be back in theater, which would be a great step towards having a career in theater. I'm also still working on my novel. I'm towards the tail end of my 8th draft, which is the one I planned to send to beta readers, which means I also need to work on the email and the website and all of those sort of details and get something up and running. As for the rest, I've got to start learning some new skills and just get back into therapy, but that's more on my therapist than me because she had medical leave. It is a long road ahead, but I'm hoping to get some steps taken this September. My friends and fellow VEDSies, I'll see you tomorrow.